Hey, 8th grade, Mrs. Hedrick. Happy Friday. It is May 8th. This is it's May 15th. Math 8. We're at the end of lesson 26, the guided and independent practice. So that means we'll have our quiz on Monday. Hey, listen, I don't love this review, and I'm not in love with the quiz. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of questions from these. And then I printed some extra worksheets, just finding the volume of a cylinder, finding the volume of a cone, and then finding the volume of a sphere. So you might need some scrap paper. So pause me now. You're definitely gonna need your calculator. Okay, pause me now if you want to go grab that and come back. Okay. All right, my friends. Let's take a look. Let's start with 13. The water glasses below are filled to the same height with the same radius. How many times could you fill glass B to equal the amount of water in glass A? Okay, so please tell me you're getting this, right? This is 1/3 the size of that. If the radius is the same and the height is the same, this is 1/3 of this size, or this is 3 times bigger than this. So how many times would I fill this glass to pour it into glass A? Okay, so 3 times, right? So we're going to say, how many times? Glass B would need to be filled 3 times because the cylinder is 3 times larger. Okay, and then the only other thing I would say, well, I got a highlighter, I lied. You need this formula for cylinder, you need this formula for cone, and you need this formula for sphere. Oops, that guy. So those are the 3 formulas that you need. And remember, when we use pi, let's go ahead and use 3.14 on our calculator. Okay, I'm going to skip 14 and 15. And then I'm going to tweak this one. This one's asking you to well, let's read it. Describe the relationship among the volume of solids. Which solid has the greatest volume? Which has the second greatest volume? Do any of them have the same volume? All right, they didn't give us any numbers, so let's give them some numbers, okay? What do you guys want to do? Let's make the radius and the height look very similar. Let's say all the R's are going to be 2 and all the H's are going to be 3. So let's do this one first. So right here, the volume of a cylinder is pi times radius squared times height. So for A, we're going to do 3.14. I'm going to use a times sign, I know, times R squared times 2 squared times height. 3. So on my calculator, I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to do 3. Well, no, wait, what do I have to do first? I have to square that first. So let's rewrite it. So 3.14 times, what's 2 times 2? 4 times 3. Okay, now I can type it all in. 3.14 times 4 times 3. So A, can I draw little lines? The volume for A is 37.68. I don't know the units, so I'm just going to say units cubed. Okay, let's do the one in the middle. So H is still 3. 2 times R. Well, we said R was 2, so 2 times 2. So this radius is going to be 4. So so for that says A like area. That bothers me. Let's use a V. And this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay. So the volume is, I'm using my formula, 3.14 times, what's the radius? 4 squared times the height is 3. So I'm just going to rewrite it. 3.14 times, what's 4 times 4? 16 times 3. So in my calculator, 3.14 times 16 times 3. So the volume of cylinder B is 150.72 units cubed. Okay. R we said is going to be 2, and we said H is 3. So what's 3 times 3? So this is 9. So the volume for the last one, I'm still using this formula, 3.14 times 2 squared as the radius times a height of 9. So 3.14 times, what's 2 times 2? 4 times 9. Okay, so that's what I'm going to type in. 3.14 times 4 times 9. So I have this volume is 113.04. Okay, so do any of them have the same volume? No. Which one's the largest? Yeah, B is the largest. That's interesting. Because I kind of thought that one might be, but which one's the smallest? That one's much smaller. Okay, so we basically just practiced finding the volume of cylinders. Okay, all right. Now, this one wants you to describe the relationship between these. Do any of them have the same volume? Do any of them have different? So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did up here. Let's give the letters a value. So what do we want R to be? R is going to equal, let's go R is 3 and H is 4. Okay, so 3 and 4. Can I do the same thing I did before? Ooh, those are tight. Okay. So to find the volume of a cylinder right here. So volume is going to be, I'm using this formula. 3.14 times the radius we said is 3 squared times the height is 4. So 3.14 times 3 times 3 is 9 times 4. So in my calculator, 3.14 times 9 times 4. The volume of this cylinder is 113.04. Do we have a unit? No. Units cubed. Okay, let's do the cylinder. Not cylinder, cone. New formula. So we said R's are 3 and H's are 4. So what's 3 times 4? This is going to be 12. That one's tall. So my volume for this is 1/3 times 3.14, I don't have a lot of space, times 3 squared times 12. I have to draw my line that way. Okay, so this is going to be 1/3 times 3.14 times what's 3 squared? 3 times 3 is 9 times 12. Okay, now on my calculator I can put in 1/3, but you can't. So the decimal is 0.33, or what you can do is multiply all this and then divide by 3. Okay? Because multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3. So that's what I'll do. I'll do what you have to do. So let's do this first. So 3.14 times 9 times 12. So 339.12. So if I'm multiplying, right, this is 3, if I multiply straight across, I'm going to get 339.12 divided by 3. So I'm just going to divide it by 3. So this, this is interesting. Same volume. These two have the same volume. Okay, I'm a little cramped on space here. Okay, let's do this cylinder. So let's go make sure I have the right formula. Volume equals 3.14. Oh, I didn't say. Radius is 3. Height is 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, these are the same. Okay. Well, I know then that this should be 3 times larger than that, right? If the radius and the height are the same, this is 1/3 of that size. So I could take this number and multiply it by 3. But we'll go ahead and solve it. 3.14 times 3 squared times 12. Okay. So 3.14 times 3 times 3 is 9 times 12, right? Did I get that right? The volume of a cylinder. Right, pi times right. Okay. So 3.14 times 9 times 12. Yep. So the volume for this one is 339.12 units cubed. So that's 3 times larger than that. That's what we thought. Okay. What are we thinking about this last guy? He's big. Well, his radius is large. Okay. So we said that the radius is 3. So 3 times 3. So this is going to be a 9. And the height is 4. Okay, so I'm going to go, make sure I have the right one. I'm going to use cone. The volume is 1/3 times 3.14 times the radius is 9 squared times the height is 4. Okay, so 1/3 times 3.14 times, what's 9 times 9? Ooh, that's big, 81. All right, so I'm going to multiply all this first. I'm going to do 3.14 times 81 times 4. So I've got 1/3 times 1017.36, right? And if I put that over 1, then it's really that number divided by 3. So divided by 3 is 339.12 units cubed. So these two have the same volume, and these two have the same volume. Okay. Very good. All right, my friends. So let's try a couple. Now, if you'd like to do a little practice, 265, 266, we're going to do one of each because these are going to pop up. I'm going to use these on your quiz, okay? So, volume of a cylinder, let's put our formula. Volume of a cylinder is pi times radius squared times the height. Okay, and let's do number 1. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 6 squared times 11. And they're telling us to use 3.14, so they don't want pi in the answer, they want the real answer. So 3.14 times 6 squared times h. Okay, so 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. So 3.14 times 36 times 11. That's what I'm doing. 3.14 times 36 times 11. Okay. The volume is 1243.44 inches cubed. Let me check my answer, make sure I'm right. Yep. Okay. Put a little comma there. All right, very good. Now let's do one cone. And again, I'm going to put one of these on your quiz. All right, the formula for a cone. So volume of a cone is 1/3 times pi times radius squared times height. Okay, let's do this first one. So I'm going to write over here in the white space. So I'm going to do 1/3 times 3.14 times, what's the radius? 3 squared times the height, 9. All right, so it's going to be 1/3 times 3.14 times, what's 3 times 3? 9 times 9. Okay, so in my calculator, I'm going to do 3.14 times 9 times 9. So I need 1/3 of 254.34. So I'm just going to divide it by 3. So the volume of this cone is 84.78 inches cubed. Let me check my answer, see if I'm right. 84.78. Yes, I am correct. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do a sphere. Again, I'm going to put these on your quiz. Probably one of these other two. Okay, so the volume of a sphere, okay, is, let me look at my formula, 4/3. Yeah, it is, volume is 4/3 times pi times radius cubed, right? Remember, this is a cube because that is the height. Okay. All right, so let's write it out. So I'm going to do 4/3 times 3.14 times the radius cubed times 4 cubed. All right, so I have to be careful with that. So what's 4 cubed? So I need to do 4 times 4 times 4. So on my calculator, 4 times 4 times 4. That is 64. So I'm going to do 4/3 times 3.14 times 64. So I'm going to do my 3.14 times 64. 3.14 times 64. All right, so 4/3 times 200.96. Now I'm going to multiply straight across. What's 4 times 200.96? Times 4. So that is 803.84, and then what's 3 times 1? 3. So now I'm going to divide that by 3. So this is 267.9, I'm going to say 95. What am I doing? Inches cubed. All right, so that one was a little trickier. If you have a calculator that you can put 4/3 in, you can do that. I just multiplied it by 4 and then divided it by 3. You get the same answer. Okay. All right, my friends, have a good one. We'll take this quiz on Monday. Bye.